Hello inmates! Inmates because we like to ride behind bars, don't we? We like to be behind bars, do you get it? Inmates. A lot of my subscribers don't need any introduction to that because I am from a bike thing, but this video is specifically for fancy bike thing customers. People who have purchased this fantastic fancy bike thing tail light product, who will also recognize what this is. So this is the tail light that goes on the RnineT. Now, I've sent you this link because you have obviously had a problem with your fancy bike thing tail light. You've had a dash error come up on your screen. Now, as you know, I advertise this product as a plug and play product, and hand on heart, 1 in every fancy bike thing tail light that I sell results in having a dash error on the screen. Now, does that mean I can't call it plug and play anymore? Because the other 9 out of the 10 of you, it's just plug and play. I've actually had 2 identical bikes in here, same year, the same model, like even the registration plates was like 1 digit out, but they're identical. And we had an error on one bike and the error wasn't on the other. We switched the lights around and the error remained on the bike and it didn't follow the light that was on that bike, which just goes to prove that the canvas on the RnineT bikes is not as stable as we would like to think. It doesn't mean the canvas is faulty, it's just BMW would never admit that their canvases have a fault on them, but they do. But I suppose it's not regarded as a fault, and I'm sure their computers wouldn't even identify it as a fault. But from my own 5 years of experience of making these lights and working on them, and occasionally getting the odd light that pops up a fault, with my experience dealing with the customers, it's the bike, not the light. Doesn't matter how many times we change that light, the bike is causing that dash to come up. They're just very sensitive systems. Now, to solve this, I'm putting together a pack on the website which you can buy as an optional extra. Now, I'm not going to put it in the boxes because it's going to cost me £10 just to put this little kit together and actually send it to you. Now, if I throw it in the box, I need to put the price of the kit up by £10, and not all of you need it. So if you need it, I'll put a link down in the description below where you can buy this little kit, which comes with 2 resistors and 4 little posi tap connectors. And I'll show you next in a minute exactly how to fit those resistors to your fancy bike thing tail light. So this is a brand new one, so you'll recognize the 2 turn signals, the main plug on the back of the bike which does the run light and the brake light, and then you get the 2 bullet connectors which power up the license plate light. Generally speaking, when people get an error on their dash, it's because they haven't connected these 2 license plate wires up. If you don't connect your license plates up, that can sometimes cause an error as soon as you turn the bike on, because it needs that little extra bit of voltage draw because the canvas is just so sensitive. Now, I'm going to show you how to fit the resistors to these 2 wires. Okay, so this is a fancy bike thing used tail light. So if we take it off the bike and we're going to establish the harness at the back, you don't have to take off the bike, you can do this literally at the back of the bike. You've got the 2 wires there that are supposed to feed the tail license plate light, and then you've got the main plug here which basically delivers power to the run light and the brake light, and then you've got these 2 cables here, these 2 connectors here which run your indicators. Maybe it's important to know that the brown wire, which is earth, that is not actually connected to anything because the fancy bike thing tail light only requires 1 earth coming in through the main plug here. So brown is earth, the indicators, the turn signals get its earth from this connection inside here. So because these are BMW original OEM plugs, they automatically come with the earth wire on them, but they're not actually connected inside the harness. Now, all we're going to do, because the female socket that's on your bike, well, that has got earth coming from the bike down here. It literally stops at the plug because it's not utilized inside here. So what we need to do is replicate the original lamp that's on your bike, and we do this by fitting a little 10-watt resistor. Now, I have fitted this to a few bikes where I've seen this problem appear, where the error pops up on the dashboard, and it does work. Now, all we have to do is bridge these 2 together. The brown and the blue, the earth and the live, they come together at the light and they make it come on, if that makes sense. I'm trying to keep this in as simple terms as possible. So all we're going to do is bridge these two out, but we don't want to get rid of the plug. It doesn't matter which way it goes around, but we need to get this onto the brown and the blue wire. Using a Stanley blade, we're going to carefully cut the covering back, being careful not to actually cut the blue and brown wire. Right, so I've just cut quite a bit back there. And for me, that's far enough away from the plug itself. If you want to take it back further, then you can. Just keep cutting back and you can do this a lot further back, nearer to where the original harness is on the fancy bike thing. And then what we're going to do, in the pack, you're going to get 4 of these. So you get 2 for each side. What you do is you unscrew the black part from the red part. You put the black part on the back end of the brown wire, or one of the wires to begin with. If you look inside here, there's a tiny pin inside here, and that will pierce the wire, and you can actually watch it going in and piercing the wire. So that's the earth wire done. Now we're going to do the blue wire. So unscrew the black part. And then just look down inside. I'm looking down inside here just to make sure the pin is definitely entering the blue wire. That's like that. Now you could literally plug this straight back in. Everything's insulated. There's no bare wires at all. Now what we're going to do is, you don't have to undo these the whole way. You just have to undo it a little bit. So around about like that. And then we pop the bare wire off one side of the resistor, and it doesn't matter which way you get it round. We pop it inside the hole as far as it go, and then we tighten the thread back up again, and that's now in there. And the same on this side. So loosen it off, pop it in, and there we have it. So what's going to happen now, as the power comes from the bike to make the indicator work, the indicator on the fancy bike thing light will still work, but it's going to see this resistor as well, and it's going to think the original lamp is still wired in, resulting in the lamp error going completely. And then we do the same on the other side. So here we go again. And if you want to, you can cut these to the right length, just to tidy things up, but it probably isn't necessary to. And give it a pull, make sure it's definitely stuck in there. And there you have it. So you still plug these into the bike as per usual, and then you have these 2 resistors here. Get some cable ties and tidy them up if you want to, like bring them down here and put some cable ties around them just so they're nice and tidy.